Hello and welcome to another update video about Ethereum. So yesterday I posted this support zone. It's between 3,597 and 3,784, which is relevant to keep the overall uptrend alive. We're still holding above it, okay? And this 1-2-1-2-1-2 setup is also still valid. Explained that in yesterday's video. Why is this support area relevant? Because it is the standard support for an internal wave 2 corrective pullback within a larger third wave. Okay, I haven't labeled this whole thing because I actually find further direct upside extensions somewhat speculative, special as well, speculative. But I mean, it's a reasonable scenario, so it's very resilient, and I've marked it with question mark. But as I said, until we get a break at least below support, there is no evidence at all that Ethereum has topped. Also, I mean, people told me I sound much more optimistic about Ethereum. Well, look, from an objective point of view, this chart hasn't changed, and I've been telling you the same stuff again and again. There is still further upside expected, right? We expect the price still to reach this area, 4,790. I mean, that is not even my ideal first target. That's here, 5,720. That hasn't changed for, I don't know, for half a year, I don't know. But it's certainly not changed, and we still want the price to go up, all right? And that's still the expectation. It is certainly good that we've seen a reaction to our daily chart support zone. We have not yet broken above this critical trend line on the daily chart. I want to see that next. But overall, Ethereum has been a bit of a disappointment in this entire cycle. And a lot of people expected money to flow from Bitcoin to Ethereum to altcoins. I've never really subscribed to that idea because it is not that linear necessarily, and it doesn't always happen like that, and it didn't happen like that. I'm only interested in what price is doing. And the price gave us a setup here. Yep, a messy one on the smaller time frame. And it's only a diagonal pattern, best I can tell, but still the focus is on higher prices. Now that we're moving up and extending, we also keep an eye on the ETH BTC chart, obviously, and ETH BTC shows the very first potential that Ethereum could be starting to outperform Bitcoin. I shared that yesterday, that, you know, as long as we're now holding above 0.033, we can, oh come on, we can watch for that label is difficult to grab. That we can watch for an upside reaction, right? Because we have a potential first 5-wave move up. And okay, whether wave 5 is already in or not, it is a 5-wave move up at the moment. So if we now get a decent corrective pullback in a wave 2 and then break out, especially above the green line there at 0.042, I will assume that Ethereum is at least trying to outperform Bitcoin. So far, this is still a local downtrend, but we want to have a series of higher highs and higher lows to give us some, you know, further evidence that Ethereum is trying to break the trend and trying to outperform Bitcoin, right? Because that is still sort of something that I'm watching for outstanding. And also that hasn't changed, right? But as long as we're in a downtrend, there's nothing to be really euphoric about. Best I can tell is that once we start the process of outperforming Bitcoin, and it's due at some point, it's overdue already, then I'm first going to watch for a B wave, but also that would be a decent move up, and that could definitely help Ethereum. We might be at a point where that's starting. Might not start yet, but it's you know, we have the first patterns that would support that, right? But that needs to be monitored closely. It is still too small. So, and then on the Ethereum chart on the smaller time frame, all I do is obviously I share support areas and tell you we still have an active uptrend. There's no reason to fight it. But once we start to break below support, below the upper support, well, that's when the lower support region for the larger degree internal wave 4, which is also bullish here, daily chart, where this support area will then come into play between 2,735 and 3,158, which means we have resistance to get through on the smaller time frame. We have a micro support area, which we're tracking for immediate uptrend for anybody who's trading the 1-hour chart. And then for those who are looking for, let's say, the bigger picture overall, you know, looking for a good entry on the larger time frame, well, support is 2,735 to 3,158, but there is no dip at the moment, okay? And then we're observing and watching the smaller time frame to understand if that dip is underway, and certainly not yet. So while the white wave count in wave 3 is very full, we can watch the yellow count until it breaks, because this is currently the one that's being tested when we're moving higher highs, higher lows, until I see some kind of a break of support and a corrective rally that forms a lower high. There's no evidence that this wave 4 has started. So it's looking good actually for Ethereum. As it also its last support area held, we now need to see if the price can break higher. There is currently no evidence that we're breaking below support, so and we're at important resistance, but we're pretty much at the same point that we were yesterday. Same point, break above this red trend line on the daily is important, and we also have this Fibonacci level to break, 3,940. And then, what is next? Well, on the daily chart, you see the next resistance. It's in this area here of those previous swing highs, around $4,080. That's the update about Ethereum. Hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Also, make sure that you follow us on Instagram and Twitter for additional content. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.